But we begin tonight with Detroit cracking down on blight and putting the city's worst violators on notice. Good evening, and thank you so much for joining us for 7 Action News at 6. I'm Carolyn Clifford.
And I'm Mike Duffy. The city now targeting so-called nuisance signs and taking the battle to criminal court. One Metro Detroit business owner now facing dozens of charges after Detroit leaders say they took down hundreds of commercial signs across the city. 7
Action News reporter Faraz Javed has more on the city's action and how that business owner is now responding.
That's just one of hundreds of Shaw's Plumbing advert signs plastered across the city, a visual clutter that goes against Detroit's sign ordinance. So now the owner of the business, William Shaw, faces nearly $30,000 in fine and or 90 days in jail.
59 count warrant for his behavior on littering the city with illegal signs.
Katrina Crawley from the General Services Department says the city took down over 615 signs hung up by Shaw since February 2022. This map shows all the locations. The city also accuses Shaw of using permanent fixture methods like using a nail gun to make removal difficult.
We sent out text messages. We did robocalls. We did direct calls.
Now, I spoke to William Shaw over the phone, and he tells me he never received any correspondence from the city to stop posting these signs. Plus, he hired another company to post these signs, and as per the current legal ramifications, he'll be holding a press conference with his lawyer to share his side of the story.
You cannot advertise on city-owned property. The medians, the berms, you cannot. You cannot put signage advertising your business on utility poles, on street signs.
Last year, the city's Blight to Beauty program began a nuisance sign removal process after receiving complaints from residents.
They are a distraction to all of the drivers. We deal with blight, we deal with a bunch of other things. It's time to stop.
Over the past 3 months, an average of more than 400 signs were removed compared to 1,700 signs taken down over the same period last year.
Other nuisance sign owners who stopped, they gave us a call. They said, hey, we didn't know that there was an ordinance. We gave them amnesty.
Now the city has identified the top 20 violators, of which criminal charges are being pressed against the 5 worst offenders, while the remaining 15 will be pursued civilly to recoup the city's costs for the resources used to remove the signs. Now, the city says an arraignment is expected within 2 weeks for those criminally charged in abusing Detroit's sign ordinance. Meanwhile, to learn more about the do's and don'ts for posting marketing signs across Detroit, head to WXYZ.com. Reporting for 7 Action News, I'm Faraz Javed.
All right, Faraz, note made.